Hey neighbor, it's wintertime. We've had a hard frost, but you know what? We're gathering seeds, a flower slash herb seed called Roselle. This is a seed crop we grew for this year. We got a frost probably about a week before I really wanted to, but we're having a pretty decent seed harvest from our Roselle. I'm gonna show you exactly how we do that. Well, first of all, if you don't know what Roselle is, it is an edible hibiscus, and it is known throughout the Caribbean and the South for being a great herb to plant. We got turned on to it about 4 or 5 years ago, and we absolutely love it. Now, it is a southern thing, so it likes to grow in warmer climates here. And what is surprised about it is what we call the calyx right here. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Now, these here have had a frost on, so this calyx is not near as robust or as thick as what it would be before the frost hits it. But being as we're harvesting the seed crop, these calyxes are still on there. We did harvest an amount of calyxes to do us for our teas and stuff. That was probably about a month ago. We left these calyxes on there because we wanted this seed crop to mature out so we had good viable seeds. But the prize part of this plant right here is this right here. After the plant flowers, and it's part of the mallow family, that flower is going to look like an okra bloom or a cotton bloom. You're going to get this calyx here, and this calyx is going to be where that flower was at. And this is the prized possession right here. Is you pull these things off right here, and that is what most people is after right there. That is ideal for making teas, jams, wines. It can be dehydrated, it can be pressed and got the juice out of there. Of course, it's a red. You can see how my fingers just turning red there all of a sudden. So that is the prized part of it. Although the leaves are edible, when you hear people talk about Roselle and hibiscus, that is what they're after right there, is the part called the calyx. So what we're after, folks, is a seed crop. We planted this spot here and another spot to grow out this variety of Roselle called St. Kitts, which is a new variety. I came across this last year. We've been selling a variety in the past called Thigh Red, which is the most popular variety, but I got turned on to this St. Kitts Nevis variety here. I like it a lot better because it matures out quicker, and us people that get these frosts into November and December, we still have plenty of time for our Roselle to mature out. The Thigh Red does not mature out as quick as this one does. So this one matures out quicker. So I think this is going to be better for people in more northern zones than in the deep, deep south. Also, the calyxes seem to be a lot bigger. Very productive. You can see here, we got calyxes galore out here. So this is my choice of varieties against the Thigh Red. The problem we was having with the Thigh Red is it wouldn't necessarily put on fruit or calyxes every year before we got a hard freeze, and we might not have a crop every year because we needed another 2 or 3 weeks for it to mature out, and we got that hard frost in there and it killed our plants. This variety here is going to take care of that for us. Problem is, it's a rare variety and it's not very well known, so that's the reason we had to grow our seed crop. I was lucky enough, a lady in Tallahassee, Florida, shared some of these seeds, these foundation seeds with me. So we grew out a crop in the greenhouse. We transplanted them out here in the garden back during late spring. I probably should have planted them 2 or 3 weeks before I did. We got them out here. Spacing on these things is about 4 foot apart. These plants get huge. They did extremely well. We had a hurricane come through here and break some of them off, but we have ended up with a great seed crop. We had a hard frost about a week ago, and it killed our leaves back and it burnt our calyxes back, but I think we're still going to be able to get a good seed crop. We've been harvesting these seed pods for the last week, and they're maturing out and drying out more, so every day we get more and more seed pods. All right, when it comes to saving seeds, there's basically 2 classifications of seeds: wet seeds and dry seeds. Wet seeds are seeds such as tomatoes, and those are the hardest to save because they're inside that wet fruit. Now this right here is what we call a dry seed, and this would be the same thing as corn or peas or anything like that. These are the easiest seeds to save. But one thing you want to make sure is when you're saving seeds like we are here, you want to make sure they're good, viable, mature seed. On these seed calyxes right here, you will see inside there is the seed pod. Now that seed pod there has to be matured out so that we got good, mature seeds inside there. The last thing we want to do is spend our time harvesting seeds that's not going to be viable or not going to germ well. You see this seed pod right here? That is a perfect condition of where we want to harvest these things at. They're turning brown there and they're actually split. And you can see how that seed pod is splitting there. If I take my thumb and push that, we'll see it is loaded up with black seeds. and there's a lot of seeds per seed pod. That is exactly what we want. All right, this may be a better example right here. You see that seed pod right there? It really didn't have anything drying out on it yet, although it probably will in a few days. So if I bust that open, you see how I got those green seeds in there? Well, those seeds are not ready to harvest. They're not matured out, and they may not mature out. I think they will in a few days. Contrary to this one right below it right here, that is brown and it's cracked in there. This one right here is ready to harvest. Let me pop it open and show you exactly what I'm talking about there. See all those black seeds in there? Those are perfect and ready to be gotten. So when we get ready to harvest these things, we take a clipper and clip them because you can't hardly pull them off there. It works a lot better if you got a pair of good sharp clippers so that you can clip them off, and we put them in a bucket. After we harvest them in the buckets, we bring them inside and we spread them out on this tarp right here. And this is kind of a staging area here before the ladies start busting them open here. We kind of put them out in a single layer if possible, keep the fan on them so they can dry out. And here comes the tedious part. These ladies here are busting open the seed pods here, and they're getting the seeds out of there. This is what takes so long, but we're able to do it inside out of the cold weather. And you can see here, they busting them out, putting them in here. Now, they still a little bit on the wet side, and they need to be dried out a little bit more, but these all look pretty good. If they come across one that's got very light seeds, we separate them out because these right here are probably going to be seeds that need to be dried more or not viable seeds, and we don't want to keep these in with our good seeds here. We want to separate this out as much as possible. Then we'll take something like this little sifter right here and we'll put the seeds in there, and all this does is kind of separate some of that small trash that may have gotten in there. We'll kind of shake it around there, and that screen there allows the small particles, dust, and whatnot to be separated out. And this is another method we use to separate some of the larger trash in there. Is we use a fan here. We get in front of the fan, we just kind of pour those seeds on there, and it blows some of that lighter trash away. I know they didn't look like much with that fan, but you can separate a lot of trash here, as you see right here, just using a fan there. Look at all that right there. So we'll go back through them after this point. If we got some more of those light seeds in there, we'll just go in there and pick those out. If there's any big pieces of trash, we'll go in there and pick those out as well. Now, if you could feel these seeds right here, you feel that they're a little bit on the damp side, we'll have to dry these for a couple of days. These are some seeds right here that are dry. I put them outside, let the sun hit them and the wind hit them, brought them in at nighttime. But these seeds here are a lot drier. Spread them out on something like this pan right here. Probably some screen would be even better so it could have air coming from above and from the bottom and the top to dry them. But these seeds right here are in pretty good shape as far as dry. But we'll make sure we dry these seeds for a few days, get the moisture content down, and then we'll probably clean them one more time. And at that point, we'll pull a germ, send the germ sample to a lab and see what our germination results are. So our goal is to get 20-25 pounds of good viable seed off these two little plots here so we can have this St. Kitts variety offered to you guys for 2025. If you live in the deep south, I think you should be growing a few of these hibiscus. Now, you don't need to grow near as many as what we got here. But we're probably going to be selling these in seed packs or 10, maybe 20 or 30 seeds. 30 of these plants here is a gracious plenty for most people that want to harvest the calyxes to make jams, jellies, or wines out of, or tea. We've been drinking a lot of the Roselle tea every night. So great crop. If you haven't never grown Roselle before, I hope you give this St. Kitts variety a shot. I think it'll be a great addition to your garden.